Hello and welcome to Modern Tech Yoga, the leg strengthening yoga sequence class. As the name implies, today we're going to be spending time on the lower part of our body with a specific focus of increasing the strength of our leg muscles. So, word of caution, there's going to be a lot of standing postures and a lot of burn in your thighs, hamstrings, and calves. With that being said, let's get started. We're going to start by sitting in a hero pose. I like to sit on a block if you have, and strongly suggest you do too, if you have tight hips. Your sit bones are nestled onto your heels. Lengthen through the spine. Close your eyes. Start connecting with your breath. The body-mind connection that we explore through the practice of yoga works in two ways. We can strengthen our outward body by strengthening our inner body, our inner qualities, and vice versa. When we strengthen our physical body, we get to strengthen our mental and energetic bodies as well. It goes both ways. And this is the reason why yoga has such a profound impact on the general state of well-being of you as a person through a physical exercise, stretching your muscles, strengthening the muscles. We get to tap into something that we don't see, our energetic and mental bodies, and affect those bodies in a positive way through the physical practice of yoga. So just keep that in mind as you are moving through the postures today. Let's start lengthening our exhalations to signal our body to disconnect from the outside world. Bring our attention and focus on what's going to take place here on the mat. Take a moment here to roll back your shoulders if you haven't already. Draw the shoulder blades down the spine. Keeping your eyes closed, focusing on the breath. One breath at a time, in and out through the nose. Letting our body achieve a calm state of being before the storm that's to come. Just a few more breaths. Lengthening the exhalations. Connecting with the breath, feeling it in our lower abdomen through the movement of the navel. And on the next exhalation, let's open our eyes and come to our hands and knees. Our tabletop position. As usual, it's always a good idea in standing exercises to warm up the spine. So finding our cat-cows, let's go through 5 rounds of cat and cow, moving at your own speed with the rhythm of the breath that you just generated in the hero pose. Holding the pose at the peak, assessing your state of being, any sensations that you may experience, Noticing how your breath flows through the body and firmly pressing through the entire surface of your palms, your knees, and your feet. See if you can get a little bit deeper into each pose. One more time. And coming back to neutral spine. Now let's tuck in the toes into our mat. And we're going to activate our abdominal core as well as our muscles. So pressing through the palms of our hands, we're going to hover the knees off the floor for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Letting go. 1 cow and 1 cat. Coming back to the center, tuck in the toes one more time, hovering off the floor for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and shooting up straight into downward dog. 5 breaths here. Take a moment here, swaying your hips, driving the heels towards the floor. Trying to press the shoulders away from our palms. Maybe come up on your toes. Pedal out your feet. Remember, if at any point during this practice feel like you need to take a break, feel free to drop down on your knees and take a child's pose. I'm gonna keep going, and I urge you to come back to this practice, to keep coming back to this practice and keep sticking with it, because every time you do it, you will feel a little bit stronger and a little bit stronger, and you'll be able to do more and more, and eventually you're going to be able to last through the entire sequence without taking a break. Let's bend the knees and walk our feet towards the hands. Inhale into flat back. Let's drive those palms into our shins. Take the time here to lengthen tailbone to the head. Really drive those palms. Really feel that stretch in your hamstrings and in your calves. Sit bones are driving back to the back wall. And on the next exhalation, listen carefully. We're going to fold forward, shimmy our feet to the sides, and squat down into yogi squat or malasana. Let's drive the elbows into the knees, connecting the palms together into a namaste hand gesture, and shifting our weight side to side, really lengthening through the spine here, trying to become nice and tall, avoiding any slumping or slouching forward. Feeling the stretch in our quads, maybe your glutes, your calves. One more breath here. And in the next exhalation, we're going to reverse squat all the way into standing. So let's run through a couple of sun salutations just to get our body warm and to get our heart to beat a little bit faster. So find your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Inhale, lengthen to the sky or to the ceiling, as in my case, extending all the way down to the floor, stepping back with the left leg, stepping back with the right leg, lowering all the way down to the floor. Inhale into baby cobra, exhale back to the floor, transitioning towards downward dog. Left leg to the outside of the left palm, right leg out to the outside of the right palm, and we are back to malasana. That was the easy part. One breath here, and then reverse squatting all the way up very slowly, connecting the palms together back to our chest. Shimmy the feet back into the mountain pose. Let's keep going. Inhale to the ceiling, exhale, folding forward. Inhale into flat back,
Exhale, folding forward, stepping back with the left leg, then with the right leg, plank here for 1 breath. Lowering all the way down to the floor, inhale into baby cobra, exhale, transitioning into downward dog. Listen carefully, we're gonna step into malasana 1 more time. Left and the right, 1 more malasana. Holding it here for 2 breaths, swaying side to side. And on the next exhalation, reverse squat very slowly all the way back to standing, connecting the hands together. We're gonna keep going. Inhale, hands to the ceiling. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, folding forward. We're gonna step back with the left leg. Drop the knee down to the floor. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, hands go to the floor. Stepping back to the floor, lowering all the way back to the floor. Once again, inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, shifting back into downward dog. Left leg steps forward, right knee drops to the floor. Inhale, low lunge. Shifting a little bit of our weight forward, really starting to feel our hip flexors stretch. Exhale, hands go back to the floor. Inhale and bring the back foot to meet the front. Inhale, stepping or fold, finding our flat back. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale all the way up to the sky, connect the palms together. We've got 1 more to go. Really taking the time to warm up the body here. Inhale and exhale, folding forward. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, folding forward, stepping back with the left leg. Low lunge, you know the moves by now. Exhale, hands to the floor, stepping back into plank. Lowering down to the floor. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, back to the floor, transitioning into downward dog. Left leg steps forward, dropping the back knee. Inhale, low lunge on the other side. Exhale, hands go to the floor. Let's bring the back foot to meet the front. Inhale, into flat back. Exhale, folding forward. Holding it for 5 breaths. Taking a moment here to really catch the breath. And we're definitely not done, we're just getting started. Inhale, reach all the way to the sky, connect the palms together, and we are done with sun salutations. Hopefully you feel a little bit warmer and your heart is starting to beat a little bit faster. I'm gonna go this way, you stay like you are, because I'm tired of looking at the wall. So from our mountain pose, let's see what we can do here. Actually, let me go here so I can face you a little bit better. Let's inhale, and we're going to switch or swoosh into the chair pose. Not sure if such a word exists, but let's find our chair pose. That pose definitely does exist. Big toes touch, knees are touching, weight is in the heels, hands are projecting forward. If this is too much for your shoulders, take your hands into a namaste pose or hands on your hips. This is how this pose should look from the side. You're sitting down on an imaginary toilet. Holding it just a little longer. Now listen carefully. We're going to bring the hands into namaste or to the sides. We're going to step back with the right leg into high lunge. Let's stick the hands up to the sky. Extend the front knee, inhale here, drop the back knee to the floor 5 times like this. This is where the pain starts. 2, going back to the floor. Number 3,
afraid.
Going back to the floor.
Be calm.
Number 4, going back to the floor. And number 5, coming back to the center. Let's bring the hands down to the floor, stepping back into plank, lower all the way down to the floor. This feels good. Inhale into baby cobra, back, and then transition all the way down into downward dog and walk your feet towards your hands. Slowly roll up into standing. How did that go for you? I definitely felt it in my quads, but you know what? We have 1 more side to go. So let's take care of the left side. Swoop up into your chair pose for 5 breaths. Holding this for 5 breaths. Sit a little bit lower, challenge yourself, go a little bit deeper. On the next exhalations, and go back to your chest, stepping back into low lunge, high lunge rather. Hands go to the sides, or you can join me with hands pointing upwards. Inhale, lengthen the front knee, touch the back knee to the floor for 1. Lengthen for 2, touch the floor for 2. Lengthen for 3, touch the floor for 3. Lengthen for 4, touch the floor for 4. Lengthen for 5, touch the floor for 5. I didn't do it for 5 on the other side, so getting a little bit more difficult here. Holding it like this, drop the hands back to the floor, step back into plank, lower all the way down to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, transition into downward dog. Softly bend the knees, and let's walk those feet towards the hands. Inhale, roll up into standing. Okay, this is even warmer now, so let's move on. Finding our mountain pose. From the mountain pose, you guessed it, chair pose. This is the departing pose or starting pose of all of our sequences today. Holding this for 5 breaths. Feel free to adjust. Maybe if you feel adventurous, sit a little bit deeper. If not, extend your knees. You be the master of this pose. Listen to your body and try to give it yourself, challenge yourself by 4%. Listen carefully. Hands go back to your chest, stepping back with the right leg, high lunge. Hands go to the sides. We're gonna hold this for 3 breaths. Holding static high lunge, so we're not moving here. Maybe an occasional wobble or wiggle. Holding this nice and straight. Opening up on the next exhalation into Warrior 2. Let me go sideways. Holding this for 3 breaths. Sink a little bit deeper into that Warrior 2. Now let's take some pressure out of our quad. Stretch or extend the front knee. Reach down to your shin or to the floor. Open up into triangle for 3 breaths. Listen to your breath. And remember that you want to breathe through the nose, in and out. Guess what? We're back into Warrior 2. And from Warrior 2, we're going to lock the hands behind the back, still preserving our stance, driving the shoulder blades together, leaning forward to the thigh or past the thigh, driving those hands into the sky. Humble warrior. Keep bending that front knee, even though you are gravitating down, so to speak. Holding this, driving the palms together for some additional shoulder opening goodness. And on the next exhalation, returning back into Warrior 2, shifting into Warrior 1. So the back foot pivots, hips are facing forward. Holding our Warrior 1 here. Now locate your blocks. Place them to the top of your mat. Come back into Warrior 1. Guess what's coming up next? We're going to lean forward, grab the blocks with our hands, and to propel ourselves into Warrior 3 for 3 breaths. Maybe you need the blocks, maybe you don't. That left leg is starting to scream. Good stuff. Guess what? Transitioning into tree. Still holding that leg. Let's take tree for 3 breaths. And on the next exhalation, releasing back to the floor. Let's shake it off. The left leg was working very hard. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So find your mountain pose just for a moment, just to reset, and then sweep up into chair for 5 breaths. Make it count. Yoga comes in many forms and variations. This is the more powerful, energetic style of yoga. Something that you do to really strengthen your legs, to tone your legs. Hands go to the chest. We're going to step back with the left leg. High lunge. Hands go to the sides. 3 breaths here in high lunge. Make it count. Remember, 4% more. Next exhalation, transitioning into warrior 2. Sink a little bit deeper. We're also developing stability, so engaging the muscles that stabilize our joints, our hip joints, our knee joints. Everything is engaging, creating pressure onto our bones to increase the bone density, something that decreases with age. Let's take a Trikonasana here, so extending the front knee, folding forward, rather reaching forward. Inhale into our triangle pose, Trikonasana. 3 breaths here. Next exhalation, bending the front knee, interlocking the hands behind the back. Drive the palms together, leaning forward. Try not to compromise your stance. Breathing throughout. Feeling powerful and energized. Next exhalation, returning back to warrior 2, and then from warrior 2 shifting to warrior 1, so you may need to adjust your stance a little bit. Hips are facing forward, hands are pointing to the sky. 3 breaths here. Next exhalation, reaching forward to get our blocks. Propel yourself into your warrior 3. Knee can be slightly bent. Maybe even release the blocks. And on the next exhale, transitioning into tree. Yes, there's the tree. Holding it for 3 breaths. And on the next exhale, everything is back down. Shake it off. Well, guess what? We are going to repeat that sequence once on each side. And just to make this even more fun, we're going to take out the triangle pose out of it. So, finding your mountain pose. Get ready, this is the big one. We're also going to increase our breath count to hold these poses a little bit longer. So this is the peak. Inhale, sweep up into chair. 6 breaths here. This is where, as my teacher used to say, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. One more breath, I believe we have on this in this pose, and then stepping back into high lunge. Your right leg steps back. Hands go to the sky. Keep holding that pose. We're going to hold it for 4 breaths. Sinking a little bit deeper into that front knee. Feeling the quad burn, opening into warrior 2. Sink forward. Make sure that the knee is not collapsing inwards. It's pointing to the outside pinky. Breathing through the nose. Don't lose your arms. Hands go behind the back. No triangle pose here to relieve the pressure on the front knee. Folding forward into humble warrior. Four breaths. We can do this. Next exhalation, shifting back into warrior 2. Transitioning into warrior 1. 4 breaths here as well. Try to stay with it. Reaching forward to the blocks. Warrior 3 for 4 breaths. Experiment with your arms. Let's get ready to transition into tree. Transitioning into tree. Try to lift that knee as high as possible. Did I say tree? I just realized I never did tree. I cheated. This is the tree. Probably feels really good right now. 4 breaths. And then finally, releasing all the way back down. Let's shake it off. We've got one more side to do, and we're gonna take a small break. Let's get ready. Mountain pose. Breath in. Let's side out. And sweep up into chair. 6 breaths. Connecting the toes, connecting the knees, sinking into that imaginary toilet. 3 more breaths. Next exhalation, left leg steps back into high lunge for 4 counts, 4 breaths. Next exhalation, opening up into warrior 2, 4 breaths. Sink a little bit deeper. Watch the knee. Avoid, prevent it from collapsing. Next exhalation, hands go back and interlocking behind your back. Humble warrior, leaning forward. Let's make this count. Bend your knee. Drive the hands to the sky. Next exhalation, returning back into warrior 2 and shifting into warrior 1. Hips are facing forward. Maintain the bend in the front knee. We're not out of the woods just yet. The body is nice and straight, not collapsing everything. Remember, we're not just building strength, we're also building stability, which is so useful when you walk around on uneven terrain. Reaching forward, let's fly into flying warrior, warrior 3. Lots of stabilization going on here in the feet and in the knee and in the hip joints. If your body is shaking, it's learning how to stand, how to balance on one foot. Keep breathing here. And finally, make this count. 3 for 4 breaths. See if you can keep calm in the face of the storm. If this didn't make you sweat, you're either doing this outside in the cold or you're not doing this hard enough. I am feeling extremely wobbly right now. Next exhalation, let's release everything down to the floor and let's just fold forward all the way down. Grab your elbows. I've got good news for you. No more standing postures. Let's release the tension. Let the gravity pull our head and shoulders down to the ground. Solid bend in the knees. Let's drop the hands down to the floor and transition into a sitting pose. Extending the legs in front of us. I'm gonna go sideways just for fun. Preparing for the forward fold. Remember, we're going to lengthen and then holding a V shape, bringing the navel towards the thighs. It's okay if our knees are bent. Folding forward. Ooh, that feels really good after those standing postures. Hands are either by the side. If you are able to reach your feet, you can drive your thumbs into the big toes to generate that internal rotation of your legs. It will stabilize your pelvis and it will make this pose much more palatable to take. Letting our body, giving our body rather, sufficient time to slowly take the shape of your forward fold. Feeling the stretch in the entire chain of muscles of the backs of our legs. There are multiple ways of building the strength in the legs. Of course, you can go to the gym and you can do a lot of squats. That definitely works. You can increase your muscle mass. But time and time, I keep repeating that yoga is not just about the physical exercise. It's the glue that holds everything together. The physical exercise, the exercise of your energetic body, through the focus on breathing while you're either taking or moving through the poses or perhaps doing breathing exercises, and of course concentration, meditation through awareness. By keeping our minds present and focused on the breath as we're moving, we are generating the quality of awareness, so that we can be more present, more aware, so that we can go through life aware of everything that's going on around us, so that we are empowered to make decisions that put us at the helm of the ship that is our life, so that we can steer it in the right direction, or any direction, because sometimes it's difficult to know which direction is right, as opposed to be just powerless passengers thrown around by our desires with no awareness of where we're going, how to get there, of what, or even what we are doing. Just a few more minutes in this, a few more seconds in this forward fold. So even though we started this class with focus on strength, we can see how building outward strength, in this case in our legs, can really translate into building up our internal qualities of perseverance, stick-to-itiveness, ability to focus on the task at hand and stick with it, ability to persevere, be resilient, being focused and concentrated, being aware, being open-minded, smiling in the face of a challenge, adopting a mindset of being able to learn from our experience. On the next exhalation, let's slowly
release from the forward fold. And we're going to bring the heels a little bit closer to our body, hands behind our back. We're going to take the right leg and put the shin or ankle on the knee into this figure 4, and let's really drive that knee forward. So you should feel a nice stretch on the outside of your leg. Now as you're holding this pose, let's thread the hand through the needle and let's shift to lying down on the floor, and let's pull on that knee to bring a little bit more stretch into that leg. This is a variation of pigeon, sort of like a supine pigeon. Much more doable and quite pleasant right now. Slowly noticing the breath, noticing the breath slowing down, becoming more calm. Noticing the contrast between the powerful, energizing yang or male energy with the cooling, soft, calming female yin energy, sun energy or moon energy. We're balancing things out right now. Let's release the hold and we're going to shift back into sitting. We're going to take care of the other side. So once again, we're going to start by sitting, making sure we adjust our distance between our hips and the leg, holding this for just 2 breaths, just to get that placement, and then reach through that needle and then recline back into supine figure 4 or supine pigeon. Notice which side is more tender, feels a bit more tense. One of the benefits of yoga is it allows us to smooth out the asymmetries in our body so that we are decreasing the amount of wear and tear on the joints by eliminating those asymmetries, making sure that our body moves in a functional, energy efficient way. As a result of that, you will find yourself needing to eat less, not needing a lot of time to recover. You can probably even sleep less, giving you more time to be in the present, awakened states that you can go around your business, wherever that is that you choose to do during that time. Let's release that figure 4 and let's hug the knees into our chest. Roll side to side and open up into a happy baby. Drive the tailbone into your mat. You can close your eyes here. We're winding down. Let's connect the feet together and drop them down to the floor. Take a butterfly pose. Place the hands on your thighs for some additional very light weight. Maybe use blocks under your knees if this is too much. Bring attention into your breath. See if you can deepen those exhalations and inhalations as well. Really engaging the area of your abdominal core. Consciously directing the flow of your breath into your navel.
inflating your belly on your inhale, and then squeezing the air out of your lungs by pressing the navel down into your spine. See if you can generate this distinctive HA sound in your throat by engaging your yogic breath. And we have very inconspicuously transitioned into a pranayama part of this exercise, which is going to be very simple, maintaining the Baddha Konasana, or the cobblers or butterfly pose. Inhaling for 5 counts and exhaling for 5 counts. Make sure that the inhalations are very deep and very long, and you're really managing your breath by activating the core. Do it at your own pace. Your awareness should be directed into your abdomen, observing the movement of your belly up and down. You can even place a hand on your belly to really connect the breath with the physical motion of your body. Remember, equal counts, 5 or 6 for breathing in, and the same count for breathing out. One more round, in and out. And let's release our legs. And let's take the final pose of this yoga class, the much awaited Shavasana. Relax your body, relax all the way through from the crown of your head into your feet. Do not skip this part. This is a very important part of the yoga practice. Relax the face. Relax your jaw. And let the benefits of this yoga practice soak in into every single cell and pore of your body. Be grateful to your body for being here with you today, being responsive, allowing your mind to challenge it, to move in new ways, to hold poses for a little bit longer. Grateful for whatever the response that your body gave to you. Feel free to stay in this pose for another minute, 2, maybe 5. But if you do really have to go, let's stretch the arms over our head. Lengthen head to toe. Tense every single muscle in your body. Inhale and hold your breath. Clench every single muscle. Exhale, let everything go. Gently turn over to your favorite side, tucking the knees into your chest, using your hand as a cushion for your head. And then shift into sitting in an easy cross-legged pose. Lengthen your spine. Bow your chin to your chest. Hands are on the knees. Let's seal this class together with an inhale through the nose and an exhale through the mouth. Inhaling and let it out. The divine light shines and bows to the divine light in you. I hope you found this class helpful, strengthening, and invigorating. This is Kirill, and I hope to see you in my next class. Namaste.